Nestled along the banks of the Ohio River in the quiet beauty of Wayne County lies a town with a story as enduring as the hills that surround it, the town of Cerrito, West Virginia. Founded in 1857 with a vision of unity, progress, and freedom, Cerrito was more than just a settlement. It was a bold social experiment, carried forward by generations of proud, hardworking people. Through the decades, Cerrito has witnessed the tides of history, from early days of the Underground Railroad to the growth of the coal industry's boom to the quiet resilience of small-town life today. Each chapter has left its mark, not just in records and photographs, but in the spirit of its community. In this special interview, we sit down with local voices, storytellers, historians, and lifelong residents to explore the rich tapestry of Cerrito's past. We'll uncover the moments that shaped the town, the people who stood at its heart, and the legacy that continues to guide it forward. Join us now as we journey through time and memory, celebrating the proud heritage of Cerrito, West Virginia, a town built on purpose, preserved by pride, and remembered through stories.
Welcome to this episode of Wondering About Cerrito, Canova. Today we'll talk primarily about CK football, and we have the privilege of having a guest today who was with the quarterback the CK football program from probably its lowest point in 1960 to the cusp of a state championship berth in 1962. Our guest is number 11 in your program, Earl Samples. Earl, we appreciate you being here today.
I'm glad to be here.
As we look back at the 1950s, there wasn't a youth football program like we've had for the last 30 or 40 years in this area. So how did you become interested in football when you were?
George John Bocook had a little league football team when I was in the 8th grade. We played 2 games. We played Fairlawn over there, played their junior high. Of course, we got beat both games. That's only 2 games we played. Had uniforms a mile too big for us, all that. But that's when I first started playing football, in the 8th grade.
So then by the time you were a sophomore in high school, Dick Treadway had resigned from being the head coach at CK, and that was Carl Ward's first season at CK in 1960, your sophomore year. Yeah. And the Wonders that year won 1 game. So it had to be a long season.
We almost won 2, but I fumbled.
Oh my. Who was that against you? Remember?
I think we was playing Seth up there, and it rained. And Larry Heck was the center. Of course, they had that towel hanging on his butt, and I didn't flip that towel up. I mean, we were going right down if we scored, but I didn't flip that towel up and fumbled. Carl never said, he never got on me.
When you started out that season, Earl, you had 31 players on the team. And I would guess that there was some attrition as the season went along between injuries and people quitting and just the fact that you were losing a lot of games. So that had to be a difficult season to get through.
Yeah, like I said, I was tickled to death when it was over. It didn't make me not want to play football anymore, but I was glad when it was over.
Before we get some of the fellas you played with, I've got to ask a question that has come up many times in my lifetime. Do you remember the watermelon pants?
Yeah.
Now, were those before your time?
Before.
Okay. Yeah, those were still down there around many years after, and I don't know why. I wish we had a pair of them in the museum because they were so unique. That green watermelon stripe on it. But I'm sure a lot of our viewers out there will remember seeing those things and wondering, did we actually wear them?
Ours were solid green in the front and white in the back.
Yeah.
And had that spandex in the back. And Rick Hanbury, he kept good enough to coach Ward, so we need new uniforms. And he wanted white pants with a green stripe. Well, the year after we graduated, they got white pants with a green stripe.
You had first team to wear those jerseys that had the stars on the shoulder.
We were sorry, yeah. I think they did get new jerseys, those were different.
Well, what was it like with Coach Ward being a new coach and you just stepping up to the varsity team? Was there a feeling that the program was actually going to improve, or could you tell?
Well,
that
I
first year?
knew it wasn't gonna go down, cause we was about as low as we could get. There's gonna be an improvement.
Yeah.
But I went at that youth center down at the field house.
Yeah.
Everybody back in with the youth center. It was, and Don Money, old Don, he was running that place, and I went in there. He said, Earl, so what do you think about playing for Coach Ward? No, Coach Ward, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know who he was. But then I found out later, he and Don had played together in high school.
How did you come to be a quarterback, Earl?
That's what I always wanted to play. And I was in 8th grade, I played quarterback, but always played linebacker on defense. Coach Ward would not let me play linebacker. He said he was quarterback, playing linebacker.
Who were some of the fellows on that first team in 1960 that struggled through the year?
Well, of course, Dave Hatton was the captain. I can't remember, Mike Chapman, I think might have been the other captain, I'm not sure. I know Dave was captain.
Take a quick glance at the yearbook, if you like, to refresh your memory a little about who was there at that time.
Well, they had track captains, okay, Dave Hatton, Mike Chapman, and John Stickler. You know, they were all good to me. You know, I was just a sophomore. They all were good to me.
Actually, as best we have been able to research, maybe the only quarterback to have started football games 3 seasons in CK. You know, it's generally a position that goes to a senior, and if a player is really good, goes to a junior maybe. And I would say, Earl, that's why you're always mentioned when conversations come up about the best players to play at CK. So I think that's a compliment to you, and you're certainly highly thought of in the athletic community here.
Well, Carl always told my mother that he had a son who wanted to be just like me. But I think when I got older, he changed his mind a little bit on that. But I'll tell you, playing for him and Dale was quite a treat. And they were two, you couldn't beat them. Dale never, you know, Dale was always calm. Only Carl had to go out on the field after him one time. Dale went out on the field after Carl several times. But Dale was trying to get a referee to come over and talk to him. The referee was over and maybe, he went after him.
Visit on the field. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, did Carl coach with the same enthusiasm that first year as he did later in his career?
Always. Carl was a real fundamentalist. That was the thing. Dale was for the offense and, you know, making plays. He'd drive Carl crazy, some of the plays he'd come up with. But Carl just believed in blocking and tackling. Dale run was about 4 plays. And somebody hit Dale driving up the road, and there's a sign there that said no passing. Dale looked over at Carl and says, amen.
Later, certainly by the time I played, every morning before school started, we all had to come into the gym and walk through the plays. Did they do that back when you were
We
there?
did that too.
Every day.
I don't remember us doing it my first year I played, but then I think my junior and senior year, we had to do that. Like I said, it was just 8:26, 90% of the time.
Yeah, I think probably anyone who played for Carl down there, no matter their age, could still walk you through 8:26. It was embedded in everyone's psyche for sure.
I know we had a 30 series. I don't know if y'all had that or not. He never run. I loved that series because I got a block in it. I didn't have to hand the ball. I got a block. And I loved it, but he never run it. One time in the game, Don Money told me when he played, they run it all the time.
You know, Earl, by your junior year in high school, your junior year, the team finished with a 6-4 record.
6-3.
6-3.
Tabor canceled the game for us.
Did he?
Yeah, Carl was sick. And he called Tabor and said, how about reschedule the game for tomorrow night, Saturday night instead of Friday night. Well, Tabor just called and canceled it. Carl about died when he realized the game, we lost that game because, you know, kept us out of state playoff that year, was losing to Vincent. That year Charlie went to the drive-in on his first half.
Why don't you tell that story for us?
Well, Charlie and Larry Heck and Frank Canute all piled in the car after school and went to Vincent. Graded. Well, when Carl found out about it, he kicked all three of them off the team. Well, they found out later Vincent had been down to CK before they ever went up there. So then he changed his mind. And he said y'all can play. Told Larry or Frank one, said y'all can play. And tell Charlie he can play too. Well, Charlie got mad, of course. And he went to drive-in. And he didn't come back and play till the second half. And I've been telling Coach Ward the whole first half, I said, run 8-13. And he wouldn't run it. First play, Charlie came in second half, 8-13. I bet you he went 65 yards. Never laid a hand on him. Carl's pretty good about running the plays. Now, my junior year, I changed plays line of scrimmage sometimes. Never said a word. We got Vincent my senior year, and Tom Ward run in the huddle and said, Coach Ward said, run quick pitch to Canterbury and tell Samples to run it. I don't know. So I come with he meant for me to run the ball. So I rolled out behind Larry and scored a touchdown, put us ahead at halftime. But he come in the locker room at halftime, he threw that clipboard, busted the million pieces, told me, he says, when I send plays in, you run. Now, I knew then what he meant. I never changed the play again.
Yeah, you were pretty fortunate your junior year. That would be the 1961 season. You had Charlie Akers and Larry Canterbury both as running backs, and those were two pretty decent football players.
Yep. We lost one of the best ones, Jennings Holland.
Really?
Yeah, Jennings wouldn't play senior year. He fell in love. Begged him to play, but he wouldn't play. But if he had played, he'd have been one halfback shot other, and Larry would probably played end.
Yeah. Ray Lucas played fullback some that year.
Yeah, he played fullback, and then he played right halfback my senior year.
Yeah.
And Gary Lanham played fullback.
Yeah.
That Lanham was something else, if you can make him mad.
He was a big, strong boy.
Well, he was, and he scored a touchdown up in that uniform off the field. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't have got off my feet in a football uniform, much less with a flip. He was a big boy.
He certainly was.
But he didn't want to play. His dad made him promise he would play, they said. I don't know. Gary really, mentally, he really didn't want to play football. But he was something, if he made a good run the first time he gave him the ball, watch out. But if he got thumped the first time he got the ball, watch out, because he quit on it.
But I suppose that second year with the winning record and a little bit in talent, and going into your senior year, did you feel like you were going to have a team?
Well, I thought we'd be better because my class had a lot of athletes and football players.
Yeah.
There was about 9 of us that I thought were pretty good football players.
Yeah.
So I thought we was going to be pretty good. But when we beat East, and that kind of, some CK never beat him in East.
So that, of course, your senior year, the 1962 season, is one that is still talked about 50 odd years later. That one play changed the whole complexion of your season and probably kept you from being state champions.
Yep.
That was in the loss to Wayne. Could you tell us a little bit about that game and in particular that play?
Well, right off the bat, we scored. Frazier boy run a counter play, and he went about 60 yards. We got the touchdown. Second time we got the ball, right down the field we went. Fourth down and maybe a half a yard for first down and a yard for a touchdown. And what we run, 8:26. Well, Larry let him, he was hurt, he had a bad knee. And race on. He let him push him backwards. And that's where the referee swallowed the ball, for really pushed him backwards to, not where he's forward. Because, I mean, we definitely got the first down, and that Butch Hill, he played for Wayne. He said Larry was in the end zone. Of course, I knew he was in. I saw it too. I knew he was. Even that referee put that ball back like that. But I told Larry, I said, Lord, don't ever let him push you back again. I said, get on the ground and don't let him push you back.
Those were the years where there were only two teams that qualified to play the state championship games, and I guess the Wanderers finished third that year because of that loss, and what in Cerrito and Canova at least there, I think it's a unanimous opinion. It was a bad call by the referee that kept you from having that first down or touchdown that would have.
Yeah, if we'd have got up 2 touchdowns during the first quarter, probably the game would have been over, you know. Because they wouldn't have been able to play a little just running football, you know. If they would have had 2 touchdown leads, they'd have had to try to throw and play different.
Had to be a lot of disappointment to come that close.
I always wished that I'd went there and played that defense. Right side, they put Dave Slates over, which Dave was a good play tackle all the time. We never played him, and he didn't understand what they wanted him to do. Wayne just kept running. Every time we run the ball, it's 4 and 5 yards. But I was afraid to step up there. Afraid call my yank mail again.
It's just the whole attitude toward football from that first 1-9 season until your senior year. Could you tell that the community was getting behind the program more?
Oh yeah, a big difference. Big difference.
This was the same with with students. You have more boys wanting to be part of the football team then.
Yeah, I think after I graduated there, they got about 80 players, I think.
Back, I think something that's often overlooked, but that's about the same time that Mr. Oshel came to be band director at CK.
Yeah, he was band director. Well, he was band director when I was junior high school. Yeah. Now there was one fine man. I'll tell you, I thought the world of John. He was tops.
The band continued to grow, I think, right along with the football team during that period. So really, by the time you graduated,
wasn't many students in the stands by the time I graduated because there's or in the band.
Yeah, and I think that carried forward for a number of years after that.
Yeah, Dale K. Park there, of course, he became band director at Grossman. He did a great job too.
Yeah.
But I was proud of the band as well as anything else myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you mentioned a few fellows there you played with. You mentioned Larry Heck. Of course, Larry later became a coach, and if I'm not mistaken, Larry was related to Dick Treadway.
Yeah, Dick married Larry's sister, Lois.
And so Larry ended up going up to Tech and playing up there.
Yeah, Dick got him a baseball scholarship up there. Yeah, that was funny. Now Larry played football for Coach Ward. Could not play baseball for him. Coach Ward kicked him off the team every year. They get into it. Charlie Akers was the same way. He could play football, but he couldn't play basketball. They would kick him off the team every year.
Really?
Larry and Charlie both were a little feisty.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. And Charlie was probably one of the faster players to.
He's the hardest guy to tackle I ever tried to tackle. That time you lowered your head to hit him, he wasn't there anymore. And he told me when he started playing football, Dale called him over at the side. Said, Charlie, did you ever think about running around them? Charlie said, I thought when you played football, you just put your head down and run over people. That's what you did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Dale said, you need to run around them.
As you played with, or I know we all, as we get older, we look back, we have fond memories of playing with certain players and certain guys that were a little tougher than normal.
Yeah.
Any of those guys that stand out in your memory?
But like I said, Charlie was always one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Of course, Larry Canterbury and we did everything together. My senior year, or I guess no, it was our junior year, I went to have a baseball team. So we'll run track. So, dude, I run one meet, then they come up and gonna have a baseball team. And then we want to play baseball. Or you couldn't run track and play baseball, but wasn't enough time.
Larry Canterbury, I think, is generally recognized as one of the best players ever played down here. He went on and played tight end for West Virginia and had a nice career up there.
Yeah, I told Coach Ward, I said I couldn't believe that Larry made it. Because Coach Ward said he played some defense up at West Virginia. I didn't go to any games, but he said Larry played defense too. He didn't play defense in high school. Oh, he would run that ball. Coach Ward would get all over him.
Yeah, anyone else you can comes to your mind, Earl, that back to you kind of shake your head and think, boy, he was a good player.
Larry, I love to throw the ball to him because he could catch it after we threw.
It was interesting when I looked through the yearbooks, your sophomore year, of course, that was the 1-9 season. But as the quarterback, you scored half the points that the team scored for the season. That's
Well, one thing Coach Ward liked was the quarterback sneak. Now, he did like that play.
It's pretty indicative of a tough season if the quarterback is your leading scorer, I guess. And fortunately, we had you there to do that.
Well, we played, and I believe it was Seth my senior year. Clifton Pack was a heck of a guard. Played that left pulling guard, but he had asthma, and he was out. So Coach Ward moved me to guard, and I had never played on the line in my life. But we were up there, and the only thing seemed like went right. I pulled around third block for Larry, and the guy switch block tackled me. But anyway, it was a real close game. But we was down about the 1 yard line. He brought me out of the game, put my jersey back on number 11. But I was just sore after that game. I'd never been wallered like that for my life. I sympathized with what lineman did then.
Yeah.
Old Moses boy, he lived up there in Pine Hill. Bob Moses, he was their best player up there at that time.
Yeah.
Played linebacker. And I came on and played at West Virginia State. And he said, "You're the hardest running guard I ever saw."
About how many passes a game, Earl, did you actually get to throw?
Well, 2, maybe 3. Third down long.
Yeah. It was desperation situations.
Right.
As the years after you graduated, and the program, of course, continued. And I think probably Coach Ward was correct when he said it was you and your group of players that actually started the CK dynasty, such as it was. Did you continue to follow football at CK?
Oh yeah.
After that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was up there when they won their first state championship.
Well, the following season, I guess,
Yeah,
63. And you played with a good number of those fellas.
Yeah, it was after my season. That's when Coach Ward hit her Parkersburg. He's when got the playoff system started. He went up there and preached it till they, of course, they went to 4 teams, I think, first.
Yeah.
Then they went to 8, and then went, 12, I think it is now.
Yeah.
But he's one got that started. Because he said it wasn't right that we didn't get to play.
Yeah. Earl, you mentioned earlier that it was your senior year, maybe, or senior year, that you weren't going to have a baseball team junior year. Well, what happened to change it so the baseball team came about?
Griffiths, I guess, had enough pull. Dick Griffith, they're the ones got it brought back. I don't know who they do it, Wayne, or how it all came about. All the thing I knew was Tabor said, "Yeah, we're going to have a baseball team."
And that was Dick Griffith from Canova. Dick was an avid supporter of Cerrito Canova High School and all the sports down there. But Coach Ward, the baseball coach when you were there?
Didn't know a thing about it.
I had the pleasure of experiencing that same thing.
He did not know a thing about it. Told us he did.
Actually, Larry Heck took over my senior year in high school, and it was the difference of night and day, but the coach was always sure we got back in time to lift weights after baseball games.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, you know, he started, when he come there, we had a weight program all summer. And you lift them Monday through Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday were heavy days. Tuesday and Thursday were light days. And Betty, if you were going on vacation with your parents, you had to get permission. You didn't just go, you had to go.
during your time there, Earl, I'm sure there were curfews as there later when I was playing, but did the coach actually call your house at night occasionally to see if you were home?
He never mind. I was sitting there in the parkette one night and here he come around the corner and I was in my brother's car and he didn't, I just slid down the seat because he drove around at night all the time.
And the parkette at the time, of course, was the drive-in restaurant there on Route 60 that was, I guess if you went to CK, you had to spend some time at the parkette.
Yeah. Well, I had, my senior year, I needed one subject to graduate English. And I had took Latin from Mr. Shirley, I believe it was, one year, and the next year when I went there, he started talking about all this work he's gonna do, and I thought, I ain't doing this. I don't need this. So I'm with Marty Rollins. She had class, I said, it's third period, I said, can I get study hall in your class? She said, yep, you gotta go get my lunch. So every day she'd give me her car keys and the money.
Pretty good trade-off.
Yeah. She had a nice little Ford Falcon. It had Continental kid on the back, you know, it's sharp. But I thought it was going to be good. I thought, well, I'd just drive my car, you know, now it's going to take her car.
You know, Earl, you were there, had some pretty good baseball players about your age there. Those were, I guess, just before the fellas that won the Little League state championships there that started in 59, 60, and 61, but you still, did Gordon Meredith play?
I played with Gordon. He was a freshman when I was a senior. I got kicked off the team my senior year. Me and Larry Canterbury and one of the Frazier boys. Carl scheduled a baseball game the day after the prom. Well, we were in a position to go play a baseball game. But I had my brother's car and hopped down on us and was working in Nashville playing that baseball. He kicked us off the team. And I was sitting there in class, in one of my study halls, and here come Tabor. He said, you go apologize. So get Canterbury, you all go apologize to Coach Ward. Get back on that baseball team. He said, we're getting too much bad publicity. I said, what about Frazier? He said, don't worry about Frazier. I said, well, Larry in school today. He said, go get him. So I whooped his house and told Larry, I said, get dressed. We gotta go apologize to Coach Ward. Of course, we wanted back on the team. He didn't want to play.
Yeah. Now, was Gordon as good a pitcher in the ninth grade as he ended up being?
He was, I never seen anybody throw as hard as he did. When we were kicked off the team, we went down to Ashland, they played down there. I couldn't believe how hard he threw, but see on the field, you couldn't really tell it, you know. But Gordon he was Gordon, I'll tell you what. Poor old Bob, you know, Bob Billups.
Yeah.
He was the catcher.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there in the dugout, Lakeland, getting the line up. Everybody, you know, Samples, they say, get all around there. Gordy, G-O-R-D-Y. I thought Bob was going to fall off the bench. But that was Gordon for you. But he hit a home run over in that beard one. Of course, the bad left-hander. Yeah. In ninth grade, man.
I think in the lore of CK athletics, it's a pretty consistent thought that Gordon Meredith had the talent to have played Major League Baseball,
yeah.
But he just didn't have the mind to focus on doing what he needed to do.
I heard Pearlie Lester, but he worked with Gordon. Pearlie's a good coach. He's the one really coached. It's Carl's. Pearlie's one really coached.
Well, I appreciate you coming today and giving us a little insight on what it was like to finish 1-9 and then to finish 9-1. And certainly, I think everyone in Cerrito Canova believes that should have been in the state championship game your senior year in high school and probably would have won the state championship that year. But such is life in the days before instant replay.
I went back up to Elton my senior year. My mom said we had a home up there, and she wanted to, we moved back and forth 2 or 3 times, I wouldn't stay.
Yeah.
But we moved up there, and I practiced football up there the first day my senior year.
Really?
Yeah, sure did. I never said a word to Mom. I got in the car and
To Canova.
pulled in down here, and they were just breaking out for practice.
Well, we are glad you came back down to play at CK.
Well, Dick Griffith came down there after I graduated. Mom and I was living in a little house there in Canova. He come down there and give me $5 and thanked me for playing ball at CK. And of course, I hadn't seen him an invitation or nothing like that.
Yeah. You certainly, Earl, are a legend in CK athletics, and everyone who watched you play, you gave us a lot of enjoyment, and you are a member of that group, very instrumental, that turned the program around so that we were put on the map for West Virginia high school football.
Yeah.
Earl, Coach Ward, I know in later years had a practice of taking the seniors on the football team at least on a trip to see a professional game. Did he do that when you were in school?
Yeah, my sophomore year, after winning one game, he took us to Cleveland to see the Browns play.
Well, that had to be a real thrill for you, I'm sure.
And of course, we all go on one bus. Wasn't that many of us, but then when we got home, we realized we left Joe Pratt up there. So Coach Ward had to drive back to Cleveland and get Joe.
So he drove back to pick Joe up to bring him down. That is an amazing story.
They left somebody else on one of the trips to, Mike Smith. Had to stop someplace and left him. Somebody told me that, and I thought, well, that rings a bell.
That's great. Well, again, Earl, thank you for being here,
Right.
and we will close this episode of Wondering About Cerrito Canova.